So, I've played a lot of Greatsword Rapier in the past. It's one of my favorite builds to play, but oh my god, with the Crescent's Wave Greatsword, this build has reached a whole nother level of powerful. And I think it comes down to the fact that so much damage that this build does is elemental damage, and the Greatsword especially benefits a ton from going for that 150 intel. And of course, Rapier just scales from intel in general. You put the elemental damage gems on your weapons, and all of a sudden, you have got one hell of a powerful Greatsword Rapier build. Seriously, I've never had this build do this kind of damage before. It is so much fun, and it feels so rewarding because this is such a fun build to play. Now, I might be jumping the gun a little bit on this one, but this could be a meta build for Crescent's Wave. It is such a good pairing for this weapon, and I've just been having crazy success in PvP with it over the past day. Now, of course, I have a build guide at the end of this video if you guys want to check out what I'm running, and there is a link to a written build guide down below for you guys too. And before we get into that PvP commentary, if you guys have some awesome fights that you want to see in the New World Top 5, please, please, please send them my way. I would love to get the Top 5 going again. I've had lots of requests from you guys to see the Top 5 again, so yeah, I'll do my part if you guys do your part and send in those submissions. Now, let's get into that PvP commentary. The Crescent's Wave just doing so good. I think one of the things I love about this build is that it adds a ranged option to a full melee build, and that's the kind of thing that Crescent's Wave I think is going to do for a lot of different builds. But yeah, we managed to get some nice Crescent Wave connection on that Fire Staff player there, and then once we get on top of him, he's already low health. There again, just a big smack with the Crescent's Wave. And we get a little bit of a cameo from Silver Chase here. He is one hell of a good musket player that plays on my server. And he's just shooting these guys up. Oh my god, their health's already dropping. All I have to do is just swing my greatsword around, land a couple hits, down he goes. Then we jump on top of this guy here. I tried to reach him with the poke. Unfortunately, he's just out of range. And Silver, man, he's like a sniper. He lands the shots. Down goes the opposing player. And I just kind of follow back out here. It looks like this guy's low on health. He eats one heavy attack into the light attack. Down he goes. This guy here, I missed the Crescent's Wave on him, but the second one connects. Huge damage. Down he goes as well. And then the spear player gets on top of me here, and the swap to the rapier just to get behind him, stay out of range of that spear crap. And on top of it, I think he ate a bullet from a friendly player down below there as well. Then I just go back up top here and just keep eating these guys damage. Oh my god, that Crescent's Wave with heavy attack just doing so much damage to these guys. This guy tries to escape. He gets behind the pillar here. We switch to the rapier, go for the flurry, the evade, the light attack. He goes down as well. And just more and more enemy players coming into this fight. We do connect the heavy on this guy here. Oh man, he is in big trouble. There's the next Crescent Wave heavy. He goes down to the crit just from the wave itself. We don't even connect that melee attack. And go back up to the top here and just keep on fighting. And here we've got what looks like a tankier flail and shield player. And this is one of my favorite things about a greatsword in general, is they do really well, or this weapon does really well against tanky targets, because we can crush their block with the heavies, and it has really good sustained DPS with those heavies into your skills as well. Go on top of the fire mage there. We do land the poke with the greatsword. We get a little bit of damage in. And I switch to the rapier, go behind the pillar just to kind of reset my positioning. As you guys can see here, with the movement on the build like this, especially a melee build with ranged opponents that are kind of attacking you. Oh, there's the Crescent's Wave. Down he goes. When you go around a corner, when you're out of sight from your opponent, and then you change directions and go back the way you came, you can kind of throw people off with that kind of positioning, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do in these fights here. And this guy, oh man, he's just out of range. There's the first Crescent Wave, and it's the victory. Unfortunately, we don't get to land that last hit. And now moving on to the next clip here, we are hanging out at the enemy flag. Seriously, guys, I want to play OPR, so I'm just playing Team Deathmatch, capture the flag over here. Just sitting at the enemy side, killing everything that I can until I die, and then continuing to respawn and run back here. And it looks like 3 enemy players chasing the friendly there. I go for the gap closer through everybody, and we land a heavy attack on this guy as he comes towards me. Huge damage on him. Then I switch to the rapier, go for a couple pokes, and unfortunately I end up missing as we go up top. Go back down to the bottom, back up to the top. Lots of just changing in positioning here. So useful for a full melee build to make sure that you're always moving and not staying in a static location. We kind of get shot up a little bit by the ranged player there, and the friendly player here with the Ice Gauntlet also doing his best to just try to get some damage in here. This guy hits him with the Scream. We get behind him. There's one heavy attack. He takes huge damage from it, and then the spin from the poke. Oh my god, Steadfast Strike actually getting the kill there. Then I switch to the Rapier, go up top, and there's big damage from the Rapier. We go back to the Greatsword. One heavy attack, opponent goes down. Two heavy attack into the light attack. Another opponent goes down. And that's it. We lose that game. Some of these capture the flag games, man, they last like 5-10 minutes at the most. So yeah, doing my best to get as many fights as I can on these builds for you guys. Honestly, the fights aren't terrible. They're just kind of on the short side, which I don't love, but that's the way it goes. Huge damage there from the flurry into the light attack. Evade. Oh my god, that guy just got nuked from the Rapier, and that's exactly what I'm talking about with this build. We not only have that absolute massive slap from the Greatsword itself, but the Rapier just stings people. It does so much damage too, and I just love it. I love having this weapon combo not just feel good, but feel strong. Feel really strong. This is one of my favorite combos to play, so this is an incredibly rewarding play style, I guess, for me. And I try to get back on top of the archer player there. Unfortunately, he just goes into the clump, and I'm unable to kind of stick that out. We get a big Crescent's wave connection as I come up the staircase, but I take a ton of damage myself. This guy catches me inside of the gravity well, and I just go to the Rapier, quickly go for a flurry, and look how fast we can turn that around with just good timing and the right move at the right moment. And this guy here just taking lots of damage from a Crescent wave. I get behind the pillar, but honestly, I probably should have whipped one more wave at him. We could have got the kill there. And then these guys end up going back up the staircase, and I'm just going to follow them. Get on top of this guy with the Rapier. There's the light attack into the evade, into the flurry, and we try to get more damage in there. We do manage to get the kill on that guy on the flag, and then there's the poke to finish off the second player up top here. And then there's a few more enemy players just kind of shooting at the friendlies that are coming this way. And the flesh from the Rapier doing a nice like 6k damage there. We get back on top with the Greatsword, just start swinging. We burn this guy's stamina bar so fast, he goes down. And then all the friendlies come into the fight, so we're going to end that clip there. Here is a look at the build, guys. We've got 100 strength, 350 dex, 150 intel. The 150 intel is so important for both weapons damage. Rapier does scale from it, but the Greatsword's Crescent wave is like 75% elemental damage when we have the gem on the Greatsword. We could go for that 200 intel if you want to be whipping Crescent waves as often as possible. That being said, if you're drinking mana pots, you can get away without having 200 intel, and you just chug the mana pot next time you need to whip out some more waves. Taking a look at the skill mastery here, for the Rapier, you guys have seen this tree from me a million times. This is my favorite Rapier tree to play. Honestly, this is probably the best Rapier tree you can play in PvP. And then taking a look at the Greatsword side of things, a very offensive-minded Greatsword setup here. We do have Steadfast Strike, but Steadfast is not only good for the damage it does, because it still hits pretty hard, but it has really good reach as well. And then, of course, Crosscut for that big boy damage. Yeah, love this build. On the Greatsword, we've gone with the gem setting, and I've got Augmented Arboreal here. Ideally, we would have Arcane damage. It's too expensive. I could afford it, but I really don't want to spend a huge chunk of money on those Rune Glass gems. So I'm just playing with a nature damage build instead of the arcane damage build. This is totally fine. You don't lose out on very much damage at all doing this. You only lose out a little bit of your Crescent wave heavy attack damage, and that's all. So yeah, we've got the Old Crown on. The Old Crown is a must-have in order to reach the stat jump points on this build. You could also do this with the Attuned Leather Pants, but I would recommend the Old Crown since it is, I think, a better item in my opinion. And then, of course, for the chest piece, we've got Vital Synergy, Gotta Have It, Shirking Heals, and Refreshing are the perk choices of choice. And for the gloves, I've just got some weird gloves here. The reason I have weird gloves is because I needed to have something that gave me some constitution. Actually, I needed two items, including the chest piece, and one of them had to be 725, so I had to use some Apex Gold Curse gloves that I had rolled in order to put this build properly together. And then, of course, we've got Leeching Flurry on the legs, and for the feet, we've got Hasted Vigor. All of the damage is nature damage, so on the ring and the Rune Glass gems, we've gone full nature damage. If you want to spend the big boy bucks, you can go for arcane damage like I mentioned a little earlier. But yeah, for me, we just keeping it cheap right now. And then for the amulet, that is perfect. We've also got Endless Thirst, switching between 2 different healing potions. That is the way to go for solo healing, I think, this patch. And then taking a look at the resists, we've got some nice resists thanks to that old crown. 17% fire resist, because of course Fire Staff is a menace. And then we are still running the Heart Rune of Stone Form. Heart Rune is up to the user. But there you go, guys. That is the build. I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to see me playing live on Twitch, you can always catch it. There's a link down below. Otherwise, have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.